No substance on Earth is more precious than fresh water. It sustains an extraordinary diversity of life. The mightiest tree, the most delicate creature. Our greatest cities, our most humble villages. Every living thing that dwells on land or lives in rivers, creeks, ponds, lakes, or streams draws life from it. This is a magical world, filled with fast-flowing streams, mysterious shrouded swamps, deep lakes, flooded forests, quiet bogs, and secret places. In every corner of our world, plants, animals, and mankind flourish wherever life-giving fresh water can be found. However much we are told of the importance of fresh water, a true appreciation can still be hard to come by. But what if you could see, up close, the life that lives in it? What if you could learn about the rivers of the world and the freshwater environments that surround aquarium dedicated to displaying freshwater environments. Its location on the banks of the Tennessee River in Chattanooga is ideal for the story that unfolds within. The aquarium tells the story of rivers and the life that lives in and around them. And it tells the story of one river in particular, the Tennessee. This river provides a natural backdrop for the grand epic of fresh water. The state of Tennessee contains more species of fish than any other state in the nation. There are as many as 50 to 60 species of fish that live only in the waters of the Tennessee River. The region that drains into it contains more species of trees and plants than can be found in all of Europe. Indeed, the entire southeastern United States, from the Tennessee River to the Gulf of Mexico, is one of the most biologically rich regions on Earth, exceeded only by the world's rainforests. A visit to the Tennessee Aquarium begins by going up, physically and symbolically, to the high country where fresh water originates. Located 4 stories up, the Cove Forest provides an ideal introduction to the story of fresh water. In a cove forest, fresh water is everywhere. It collects in small streamlets, gathers force, and builds, and makes a thundering, headlong rush down steep mountainsides to the valley below. This is a recreation of a cove forest in the Smoky Mountains. A mountain cove is an emerald refuge between mountain ridges. It's formed by the tireless work of a tumbling stream, which cuts a deep ravine in stubborn rock. Clinging to the steep sides of the ravine is fresh water in a multitude of forms. As rain, a cove forest can get as much as 100 inches a year, a trickling mountain seep, or a gently soaking morning mist. This ever-present cloak of fog is the source of many a mountain name, including the Blue Ridge and Smoky Mountains. And wherever there is fresh water, there is life. A recreation of a mountain sink and waterfall provides an excellent view of trout behavior. Sinks are deep pools in mountain streams that vary greatly in temperature and oxygen content. Larger trout are attracted to the warm water and high oxygen near the surface. Here in the Cove Forest sink, they are also drawn to the oxygen-rich churning of the falls. Smaller fish seek the safety of the sink's deeper regions. A Smoky Mountain Cove forest is the realm of trout, brook, brown, and rainbow. Trout need clear, clean, fast-moving water. A tumbling mountain stream suits them just fine. Rainbow trout were introduced to eastern streams from the west, brought in as sport fish. Their name derives from a distinctive colored stripe that runs down the center length of their bodies. Brook trout are the only native species in Appalachian streams. They need very cold water to survive, so they tend to live in very high elevation. For years, competition from rainbow and brown trout led to a great decline in brook populations. Through conservation efforts, the brook are once again reclaiming their home streams. As any fly fisherman knows, trout face upstream to feed. Their streamlined bodies are well suited to holding position in swift water. To rest, trout take refuge in eddies formed by rocks. If you look closely, you may also spy a salamander or two. Difficult to make out against this rock is a hellbender, the largest salamander in North America. Also called devil dogs or the Allegheny alligator by fishermen, the hellbender is very secretive. It loves to hide under flat rocks. You may not see salamanders very often in the wild, but they're there. In fact, it's been estimated that if you gathered up all the salamanders in some mountain forests, they'd weigh more than all the birds and mammals combined. The only mammals at the Tennessee Aquarium are found here in the Cove Forest. It may surprise you to learn that river otters are members of the weasel family. They're known for their playfulness, but otters spend much of the day napping. In water, the otter's thick fur protects it from the cold. Oily, longer hairs in its coat repel water and protect the shorter, downy hairs closer to its skin. The river otter was once nearly eliminated from mountain forests by man. Today, through conservation and relocation efforts, the river otter is making a comeback in the high elevation forest. A cove forest is also the home of snakes, such as the eastern timber rattlesnake. Surprisingly, snakes have no exterior ears, so even if they wanted to, these fellows couldn't hear their own rattles. But they do have inner ears that are very sensitive at picking up vibrations in the ground, like footsteps. The aquarium's Cove Forest is also a bird sanctuary, but not for exotic birds. These are mountain birds. In some cases, they are threatened, not so much because they're losing their habitats here at home, but because they are losing habitats where they spend their winters, in South America. The Cove Forest would be incomplete without plants. Here you'll find ferns, mosses, ginseng, trillium, rhododendron, dogwoods, redbuds, hardwoods, flowering vines, and more than 120 kinds of wildflowers. The aquarium's exhibits do not merely imitate nature. These are in fact small ecosystems, natural communities where plants, fish, birds, soil, water, and oxygen interact in the same manner as they do in the natural world.
I think one of the things that we do best is show the entire ecosystem. It's all connected. It's hard to explain. And a freshwater aquarium really doesn't give justice to what the aquarium is. It's a freshwater life center. It's wonderful.
To make this freshwater life center work effectively requires a diverse staff. By its very nature, the Tennessee Aquarium depends on a team of individuals with specific skills.
I think the real unique aspect of the Tennessee Aquarium is that we are exhibiting biological diversity. We are bringing the elements together, and to do that successfully, we had to bring in staff from all these different disciplines and have them work together. In a more typical zoo situation, frequently you might have just one staff member taking care of an exhibit. In our situation, it's not unusual for there to be 4 different staff members in a single exhibit, even on a single day.
There are staff members that specialize in the care and feeding of reptiles and amphibians, others that take care of only the birds, still others that look after the fish, and staffers that raise and nurture trees and plants. Bringing such diversity together is crucial to the success of the aquarium. From the highlands of the Smoky Mountains, our understanding of fresh water moves further south to another ecosystem, one man-made and slower moving. The Tennessee River exhibit tells the story of one of our nation's great river systems. The Tennessee flows through 3 states and 7 geological regions before joining the Ohio and eventually the Mississippi. It was once a free-flowing river. To control its unpredictable floodwaters, dams were built all along its course by the Tennessee Valley Authority. It provides electricity and recreation to millions of people. It is also host to a richer variety of fish species than all the rivers in Europe combined. The Tennessee River exhibit is ideal for exploring the behavior of freshwater lake species in their natural environment. The largemouth bass, a member of the sunfish family, is renowned among fishermen as a fearless fighter and the source of many a tale about the one that got away. But the real gem of the Tennessee River Gallery and of the entire aquarium is the Nickajack Lake Tank. At more than 138,000 gallons, it is not only the largest tank in the aquarium, it's the largest freshwater tank in the world. The Tennessee River exists today as a series of man-made reservoirs. The Nickajack Lake Tank gives visitors a view of the type of lake environment found throughout the Tennessee. This is where schools of sunfish huddle for safety beneath boat docks or flooded trees. Here you'll find giant carp, relatives of goldfish. Or the freshwater drum. The male drum calls to a mate with a drumming sound that he makes by vibrating a muscle near his swim bladder. The prehistoric-looking gar has changed little since its ancestors plied ancient rivers. Imitating a sunken branch, it waits, motionless, for unsuspecting prey to swim past. Its tough skin and bony head make it virtually invincible. A gar's scales fit tightly together like bricks in a wall. Its scales are made of a substance so hard that Indians use large scales as arrowheads. Golden-eye ducks swim up above, often with one leg buried beneath their feathers to regulate body temperature. At feeding time, it's easy to see why these ducks are also called diving ducks. Along the tank bottom, you'll find the odd-looking flathead catfish, scouring through mud for a meal. The Tennessee River hosts many species of catfish, including bullhead and channel cats, but the largest by far is the blue catfish. Out in the river, these greats can get much bigger, up to 100 pounds. The long whiskers on a catfish are called barbels. Along with allowing the fish to feel its way, barbels contain many sensitive taste buds. Fishermen often will attract catfish by the use of rank-smelling lures, called, appropriately, stink baits. For many visitors, the Nickajack Lake exhibit is where the ordinary becomes extraordinary.
I think so many people live with Nickajack Lake and the Tennessee River right in their backyards. And if it's not a bass or a crappie or something that you easily would pull in, you don't know what's under there. I mean, it's a big dark body of water, and unless you see it in a big tank, you know, you see the whole picture, and I think it helps people to understand how whole ecosystems fit together and how we're maybe a part of that.
I think the thing that amazes me the most is standing around that Nickajack Reservoir tank and seeing people look with amazement at fishes, all of which could be caught right here in downtown Chattanooga in the Tennessee River.
Compared to the more colorful, exotic fish found in large saltwater aquariums, these fish may look fairly drab in appearance.
But they're fascinating, and they've always been fascinating to me, and I'm delighted by the fact that these fishes are fascinating to other people when they're displayed properly.
For many visitors, the Nickajack Lake is where an understanding of fresh water really begins. That understanding is reinforced at every turn in the aquarium. The Reelfoot Lake tank is no exception. Reelfoot Lake lies in the extreme northwest corner of Tennessee. It is the largest naturally occurring lake in the state, but it was formed by an accident of nature. In 1811, an earthquake occurred that was so massive it rang church bells as far away as Boston and caused portions of the Mississippi River to flow backwards. In turn, a Great Depression formed by the quake filled with river water, and Reelfoot Lake was born. As a habitat for fish, it's one of the best in the state. So when it came time to collect fish species for the Tennessee Aquarium, Reelfoot Lake was a top choice.
It's a lake extremely rich in fish life. There's probably 2 to 3 times more fish per acre of water in that lake than any other body in this whole state. And a lot of the fish that you see in our Reelfoot display, as well as the Lake Nickajack display, because some of the species do overlap, came from the Reelfoot Lake area.
The Reelfoot Lake exhibit recreates a natural wonder. The cypress woodlands that flooded when the lake was created are home to crappie, catfish, sunfish, bluegill, bowfin, and dozens of other creatures, including turtles. Reelfoot Lake averages just 5 feet in depth. Its cypress stumps and knees and fallen logs are great habitat for fish, but make navigation quite difficult. Reelfoot Lake is one of the northernmost cypress swamps in the country, but to get the full picture of the importance and beauty of this type of environment, one must travel even further south, to a delta swamp. Few places are as mysterious and eerie as swamps, but what an incredible diversity of life they hold. The Delta Country exhibit is an accurate representation of a swamp common in Mississippi and Louisiana, where the waters of the Mississippi begin to slow before entering the Gulf of Mexico. Also called wetlands, swamps are important feeding grounds for fish and shorebirds. They are also one of nature's most efficient filters for cleaning polluted waters. They may look still, they may even look dead, but nothing could be further from the truth. For swamps are filled with life, big and small. Nothing gets bigger than the king of the swamp, the American alligator. Using its massive tail to move through the water, these powerful creatures, which have changed little since the species first appeared on our planet millions of years ago, roam the swamps in search of prey. Notice their dark, ominous eyes. A thin membrane covers and protects them when they go underwater. Because their eyes and nostrils are located on the same horizontal plane, an alligator can hide almost its entire body while it patiently searches for its next meal. But don't let its still behavior fool you. These animals can strike like lightning when the time is right. Not to be outdone, however, in either prehistoric appearance or power, is the alligator's snapping turtle, all 140 pounds of him. But this species must be doing something right, for they often live to a ripe old age. Civil War shrapnel and Indian arrowheads have been found in some currently living specimens. From top to bottom, cypress swamps are teeming with life. On the water's edge, a little blue heron uses its keen eyesight, long legs, and long neck to search for food. Meanwhile, sunken branches provide a ready porch for whistling ducks, and underneath, a variety of sunfish and turtles scour their environment in search of their next meal. The map turtle gets its name from the map-like pattern of lines on its shell. Snakes also find food and shelter in the swamp. Then there are lizards, like this eastern glass lizard, that looks like a snake, but is in fact a legless lizard with movable eyelids and exterior ears.
In a lot of ways, we're kind of like the old Time Life books that You'd open up the big fold out, and there would be the cross-section of the rainforest or the marsh, and you'd have tremendous diversity of animals. There would be 100 animals on that, and plants on that big photograph. And it's really not what you would see in nature. As you walk through the woods, you can't see that. What we're trying to do is, we're trying to take those same pictures and put them to life, and let the visitor go through and see the cross-section of the swamp or the lake, see what the animal's doing in one vantage point. Whereas you can look up and see, a duck dabbling on the surface, and a bass foraging, or a sunfish hiding under the log, and then a turtle foraging along the bottom. And so there you are in an advantage that you can never really have in nature, even though that very same environment is right outside our door. And so it's, in a way, it's kind of a surreal experience that gives that person that look inside.
Accuracy of detail is one way the aquarium allows a person to see the very same environment that's in nature. Nowhere is this more evident than in the Delta country, where horticulturists travel 3 times a year to Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle for plants. The dominant feature of a cypress swamp is not a cypress at all, but a redwood related to the giant sequoia. It's called a bald cypress because it loses its leaves in the fall. And if you look closely near the base of the tree, those stumps are actually roots projecting upward. These cypress knees, as they're called, are thought to help stabilize the trees.
Much of the cypress swamp in the low country has been logged, and it is reforesting, and we want to keep that look, have vines, have ferns, the mosses, things that you would see down there. And we are trying to find things that grow very well so that we can avoid a landscaped look. If you have to replace plants every few weeks, you never get that mature look. You never get a vine that's just taking over a tree, and the kind of things you would find in the forest. I think detail is what makes the exhibit. It serves a purpose in giving it the feel of reality, and a lot of people do notice the details, but by and large the general public may not know the effort and the detail we have put in it, but I think it adds to the overall quality of the exhibit.
Visitors may not be able to appreciate the level of detail in the aquarium's exhibits, but others sure do. These turtles actually hatched out on exhibit. They're a sure sign that the habitats are working properly.
The fact that we have turtles breeding on exhibit, laying eggs in a natural situation behind the aquatic part of the exhibit, and then them actually incubating and hatching out on exhibit, that means that all the natural components that occur in the wild have been recreated and are working well in a captive situation. And that's our goal. Our goal is to have the animals functioning just as they would in the wild.
From the cypress swamp, visitors glimpse a world that lies just beyond Delta country. This is a mangrove forest where the fresh water of the Mississippi Delta mixes with the salt water of the Gulf of Mexico. It is a view of things to come. The Gulf of Mexico exhibit is the second largest in the aquarium. It is also the only one that features saltwater species. The Gulf of Mexico is nearly an inland sea, surrounded by land on 3 sides. Its unique environments provide refuge for an array of colorful and dynamic water life. Water from the Tennessee River eventually finds its way to the Gulf, as does so much of the fresh water in the southeastern United States. In a large sense, the health of the Gulf depends upon the health of the freshwater rivers that feed it. And even though a Tennessee blue catfish may have little in common with a blue tang of the Gulf, they are connected by a lifeline of water. Mangrove trees have the unique ability to live in salt water. They use a complex network of roots to process out the salt and take in the nutrients they need. The result is an underwater forest of root tangles. These roots provide cover for a variety of Gulf fish. The shape of a fish can often clue you in to where they live. For instance, these fish are very flat from side to side, allowing them to negotiate the mangrove forest with ease. Rays and skates are flat from top to bottom, allowing them to bury themselves along the bottom. They're related to sharks. Like sharks, their skeletons are composed not of bone, but of cartilage. There are two types of rays in the Gulf tank. The southern stingray has a pointed nose, and the ray with the rounded cow-like nose is called, well, you guessed it, a cow-nose ray. There are hundreds of species of sharks. Most species must move constantly or die. A shark can have between 8 and 15 rows of teeth, which they replace throughout their lives as older teeth get worn down or break. Some sharks can grow as many as 20,000 teeth in a single lifetime. This bonnet-head shark is a member of the hammerhead family. Because its eyes and sense organs are located at the extreme ends of its protruding bonnet, it can survey a larger range of territory by sweeping its head from side to side. Crevalle jacks are built for speed, as are barracuda. The porkfish has an unusual hobby. It likes to clean dead skin and parasites off other fish. Some fish in need of a cleaning will actually line up near a porkfish, wait their turn, and then position themselves in a headstand posture. The grunt's name, like the drum, comes from the noise it makes. Grunts make a grunting sound by gnashing teeth located deep in their throats. The surgeon fish, also called the doctor fish, has a scalpel-like spine located near the base of its tail, which it can extend like a switchblade when threatened. Children aren't the only ones who enjoy these creatures of the Gulf. For the aquarium staff, collecting these fish was a dream come true. To find fish for the aquarium, staff members ranged over the entire country, from Maine to Montana to Texas, but no collection trip was more enjoyable than the one to Key West, Florida.
A lot of the fish that are found in the northern Gulf of Mexico also cross over and are found off of Key West, Florida. And it was an environment much more conducive to a massive collecting operation in the given amount of time that we had at that period prior to opening.
The aquarium staff brought back more than 500 Gulf fish, representing more than 25 species. And judging by the reception these fish have received so far, the trip was well worth the effort. A bonnet-head shark or stingray may be the first thing a child wants to see at the Tennessee Aquarium, but often it's the smaller wonders that a child remembers most. Discovery Falls is devoted to presenting the hidden world of wet places. Discovery Falls sheds light on the more delicate interworkings of freshwater environments. Here is where you learn that 9 out of 10 living things live in water. Many of these creatures are quite fragile, which explains the need for a special gallery.
In the large exhibits, it's difficult to portray some of the more passive and smaller animals because of the number of predators and the sheer size of the exhibits. So in Discovery Falls, we really try to portray the animals that are much smaller and sometimes more difficult to see in the wild.
Exhibits at Discovery Falls may be small, but no less detailed than larger ones. Here you'll find salamanders, like this siren. It makes a noise like a siren when frightened and has no hind legs. Discovery Falls is where you'll find an Appalachian bog exhibit, complete with frogs and toads and the smallest turtle in North America, the bog turtle. An aquatic insects exhibit celebrates the diversity of insect life that lives along stream bottoms. In one of the larger Discovery exhibits, called Night Voices, are an assortment of tiny fish, turtles, and tree frogs, including the barking tree frog, which, of course, makes a sound like a barking dog. One Discovery exhibit showcases a remarkable group of fish called darters. There are hundreds of different types of darters in Tennessee. They come in a wide assortment of colors with names just as colorful: gold stripe, rainbow, speckled, black side, amber, blue stripe, cherry, watercress, emerald, tangerine, and yasbo. just to name a few. Darters have a reduced swim bladder, which allows them to sink like a stone and remain stationary even in a strong current. The tiny fish move by darting from one place to another, hence their name. Of course, a reduced swim bladder has certain disadvantages when you want to go up. Each creature in Discovery Falls plays a very important role in the study of our environment, for each is an indicator species. Indicator species are sort of like the canary in a coal mine. They feel the effects of pollution before other species do. By studying the health of salamanders, frogs, darters, and mayfly larvae, researchers can get a better idea of the health of the entire Tennessee River system. If they're healthy, then we're healthy. Of course, the reverse is also true. The fascination behind Discovery Falls is the fascination of seeing the familiar in a whole new way. For these are creatures we've all seen before, beneath the rocks and in the stream beds of our childhood.
I think Discovery Falls is one of the best exhibits we have because it is just made for kids. Those animals that they see in there, they can go out to their backyard or to a small creek and find those animals. And as long as we spark a little bit of interest with them and make them aware that these animals are out there and they need that habitat and we can't keep destroying that habitat, then it gets the little kids involved in that. And when it gets the kids involved, then the parents start to take note too.
Education is a primary mission of the Tennessee Aquarium. Discovery Falls is just one place that lesson of fresh water gets passed on. Each week, hundreds of school children from grade school through high school go on field trips to the Tennessee Aquarium. A computer lab, wet lab, and special presentations in a 210-seat auditorium provide students with a solid introduction to the workings of aquatic habitats. It's a lesson children are more than happy to learn.
That's really neat when you get the kids that walk away from it and think, that's something that they've never seen before. That's something they really want to know more about. That's our mission.
Children aren't the only ones who come to the aquarium to learn. Every visitor learns something at some level.
What better way is there educating people through entertainment? As they come through, they're excited just as much as we are when we go out after the specimens and bring them in. They're just as excited to see them. Sometimes they're even more excited. And they're learning while they're going through the building, and that's very important. The exposure that they are receiving here, they may never receive the rest of their lives.
A vital part of the aquarium's education mission is carried out by volunteers. Private donations built the aquarium, and that spirit of generosity continues with hundreds of dedicated volunteers. Some volunteers undergo an 8-week training course, after which they share the knowledge they've gained with visitors. Where Discovery Falls opens our eyes to small hidden places of fresh water, another exhibit takes on a much larger challenge. It opens our eyes to the world. The Rivers of the World Gallery celebrates fresh water on 5 continents. Represented here are some of the mightiest river systems on Earth. The locations range far and wide, but the story remains the same. Wherever fresh water flows, there is life. The St. Lawrence is host to freshwater, brackish water, a mixture of fresh and salt water, and saltwater species. Dominating the St. Lawrence exhibit is the sturgeon. Its bony armor provides protection against other fish, but against man, the sturgeon has long been helpless. For sturgeon eggs are the source of caviar, and the demand for sturgeon continues to outstrip supply. The St. Lawrence is also home to powerful Atlantic salmon and the northern pike. The Yenisei is located in the far reaches of Siberia. It's one of Russia's longest rivers. It flows northward through hundreds of miles of virgin forest, over frozen tundra, and up into the Arctic Circle. The Yenisei River is where you'll find the world's largest trout, the hucho or taimen. The exhibit's Arctic grayling were collected on location in Siberia by aquarium president Bill Flynn 2 years before the aquarium opened. The Shimanto is one of Japan's last great unspoiled rivers. Its mountain rapids host many unique and colorful species. Tropical fish lovers will recognize these gouramis, who are some of the stars of the aquarium's Tropical Asian exhibit. The Zaire courses through the heart of Africa on its way to the Atlantic. Draining the moisture-rich African rainforest, the Zaire carries with it more water than any other river on Earth, except the Amazon. It is ruled by pythons and the infamous giant tigerfish. It is the African equivalent of the piranha of South America. The fish gets its name from long teeth that overlap the outside of its jaw when its mouth is closed, lending the fish the look of a jungle tiger. The giant tigerfish can weigh as much as 100 pounds. Much smaller, but no less interesting, are the puffer fish. They can puff themselves up with air or water to intimidate an attacker, or simply to become hard to swallow. A Rivers of the World exhibit would not be complete without a sampling of the greatest river in the world, the Amazon. It is a river of superlatives. It contains the most species of fish. 500 kinds of catfish alone live in the Amazon basin. The world's largest freshwater fish, the arapaima. The world's largest snake, the anaconda. And the world's most feared fish, the piranha. The Amazon drains an area the size of the continental United States. 1/5 of the Earth's fresh water flows through it. Its waters can be detected 100 miles out to sea. The rainforest that surrounds it supplies 1/5 of the Earth's oxygen. It contains more species of plants and animals than any other place on Earth. This is where you'll find the emerald tree boa and the anaconda. Like the boa, the anaconda is a constrictor. It kills its prey by coiling its body around it and squeezing or constricting until the animal suffocates. In the wild, an anaconda's diet can include young crocodiles and wild pigs. Many fish species found in home aquaria, including the colorful and popular tetras, originate in Amazon waters. The plumed basilisk is a colorful lizard with a very distinctive skill. When frightened, it can actually run on top of the water. It's feeding time for the Amazon exhibit. What's on the menu today? A small cow? Perhaps a goat? Would you believe fruit? It looks like a salad bar at a 5-star restaurant. In fact, the fruit and vegetables come from a restaurant supplier.
That tank definitely has the most unusual diet of any fish tank in the building. They eat a variety of different types of fruits and vegetables because in the wild they'd be getting a fair amount of fruits, seeds. Seeds and nuts are a large part of their diet in the wild. On any given day I might be feeding them pieces of kiwi, strawberries, mangoes, papayas, bananas, grapes.
So, how do Amazon fish in the wild manage to get a steady diet of fruits and vegetables? A tropical rainforest has just 2 seasons, a rainy one and a dry one. During the rainy season, the Amazon may rise 40 to 50 feet, flooding the surrounding forest. Fish move freely about the flooded trees, feasting on an assortment of fruits, nuts, and vegetables. This tank is a replication of just such a flooded forest. As you can see, Amazon fish are healthy eaters. Some really get into it. In the Amazon, the arowana can jump 4 feet out of the water to grab insects. Its upturned mouth and eyes are well suited to surface feeding. For the most part, Amazon fish, even the dreaded piranha, are vegetarians by nature. Only during the dry season, when competition for food is severe, do piranha turn into the meat-eaters of legend. Spending time at the Amazon exhibits and at each of the Rivers of the World displays, you gain an appreciation for the overwhelming diversity of life in fresh water. When you see the abundance of life found in aquatic environments, it may be hard to imagine that fresh water is anything but plentiful. But consider this. Of the water on the Earth's surface, 97.2% is salt water, and the rest is mostly locked up in the polar ice caps, leaving just 0.65% in groundwater, lakes, and wetlands, and only 1/1000% in rivers and streams. This is the aquarium's main holding room. It doubles as the quarantine area for the Tenrossue Aquarium. Every fish in the building had to spend at least 30 days in this room before being released into a display. In fact, each of the more than 7,000 animals in the aquarium underwent a quarantine period to make sure they were healthy enough to survive in captivity and to ensure they were disease-free. Care and feeding of the wide assortment of fish at the Tenrossue Aquarium takes special knowledge and skill. If feeding these fish were just a matter of tossing food into a tank, anyone could do this job. But because different fish feed at different levels within a tank, the staff at the aquarium must go to great lengths to make sure that everyone gets enough to eat. Some fish require special deliveries.
And if you throw in just food from the top, especially in a tank like our large Nickajack Lake exhibit, it's about 24 feet deep at its deepest point, those fish that feed off of the bottom are never going to get any food. So when we go in there and we dive, we can spread the food around, we can place it in different areas for the different fish to get it, and we can also make sure that certain fish are eating.
In some ways, it can be said that the Tenrossue Aquarium is truly a living, breathing building. A central computer controls all life support systems. It constantly monitors room and water temperatures, water levels, water chemistry, as well as pump and filtration systems. Operators must keep a watchful eye on each and every exhibit 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. It should be clear by now that the focus of the Tenrossue Aquarium is on aquatic environments and the life that lives in and around them. But where does mankind enter into the equation? What of our relationship to fresh water? The Tenrossue Aquarium tells that story as well, and it does so in some very creative and innovative ways. The Folk Life Wall at the Tenrossue Aquarium is dedicated to the folk artists of the Appalachian region. The more than 100 works of art displayed here are distinctive interpretations of what the Tenrossue River means to the people who live alongside its banks. Art also plays a significant role on the outside of the aquarium, where 53 bas-relief medallions encircle the entire building like a pearl necklace. Each medallion pays tribute to the history of mankind on the Tenrossue River, including Native American villages, European settlements, the rise of trading and agriculture, and eventually the development of industry, including the Bluff Furnace, one of Chattanooga's first and most important industries. The Tenrossue Aquarium is also surrounded by Ross's Landing Park and Plaza. The $10 million park was built with public money and is dedicated to the people of Chattanooga. The aquarium forms the cornerstone of a 20-year revitalization effort for the city. The park in which it sits is part of that commitment. Its innovative and mysterious features tell the history of Chattanooga. Some of the most significant aspects of that history are physically embedded into the park's landscape, such as Indian relics and Civil War artifacts.